Alright everyone, welcome to some Sinister Cup battles that we're going through. Battling against all of my fellow Aussies on the Arena Australis Discord group. So our first battle is against Third M, which we found out stands for Third Monkey. So Third M is how we pronounce it. So we lose the first matchup. Then quite happy here with Empoleon. Now one thing I've learnt so far throughout all these battles is practice, right? Practice. That's what it's for. If you don't know how much damage you take from a Bone Club, just take one to the face. Doesn't really matter if you lose. You're going to learn more from losing matchups, I think, than winning them. So you're going to see a lot of featuring Empoleon in these few battles, and also Haunter. They're two guys that I was really trying to try out in these bunch of matches, and I'm reasonably happy with them. I do just need to get a second move on my Haunter. But that's alright. So, Drift Bloom here, I popped him in to see how he goes. I really think without Ominous Wind, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think he has that flex that you're really hoping for. So, win the first matchup. Doesn't really matter. So, we get Gallade versus Empoleon here. Confusion is resisted by Steel. And you can really just see how, one, squishy Gallade is, but also that Waterfall is like the Razor Leaf of this comp. You think Confusion would be, but it's resisted by so many things. But yeah, it really is Waterfall in this comp. So we'll throw off a Flash Cannon. I know it's going to be cheaper. And then Hydro Pump. I thought, oh, maybe if he tries to charge up to Shadow Ball, we might get to a second one, but no, we don't. So we choose not to shield and let it go down, and then we get fast move down. Sorry, I'm a bit behind. So Haunted to come out to try and farm up a little bit of energy on Marowak. Hopefully we can get to a Shadow Ball. So even though it's a Steelix, Shadow Ball will still hit like an absolute truck. So wisely shielded. So we switch into our Medicham. Medicham's good. I think I do prefer Poliwrath as my fighter. Don't know if I'm going to run two fighters at this point in time. I think there's more flexibility elsewhere. And there are other things that can still take down tanks reasonably well. Empoleon being one of them. With his waterfalls. Although it's a bit of a 50-50 because, yeah, he still will get hit pretty hard from the tanks. They're pretty good. So I try and out Gardevoir a few times as well. This one's a Charm Gardevoir, and against Haunter, it's not really ideal. I don't know. I'm not sold. I don't think I'll be running Charm on my Gardevoir. I think Confusion's probably the way to go, and even then it fits such a narrow niche role in terms of you only really want it to take out those fighters that aren't Medicham. So we get off this Hydro Pump here. He is a wise man to shield, even though it probably won't kill because it'll be resisted. It's still going to be a lot of damage, a Hydro Pump to the face. So we've got our Medicham here, Poliwrath, so it's a bubble, so those bubbles are really going to add up now that he's thrown off a couple of power-up punches. And I haven't got to one power-up punch yet, which isn't great, but there we go. Still takes him down, and he's got Lugia in the back, so even though I've got two shields, there's no point in even keeping going. Lugia will just wreck through us. So yeah, Lugia is a really interesting pick. One that I think is a bit underrated. Everyone who sort of runs off of the spreadsheets doesn't quite take into account like switching and how all the mechanics work. So if you're someone who just looks at spreadsheets, that's great. You know, they're really helpful, really good to see what wins in a lead matchup. But you know, in anything that's sort of in that 450 to 550 mark, you know, that's one or two fast moves different, and the whole matchup changes. So yeah, practice makes perfect. So get out there, find some friends, level up your friendship so you can do it from home, and yeah, get that friendship up there. So another good thing to see, Magneton not great against Poliwrath, even though because his lightning attacks are supposed to be super effective. Definitely should have shielded up there, but we had no shield, so unlucky us. So again, we go down here. We do have Medicham against Bastiodon, that's great, but what's he got in the back? It's probably not going to be ideal. Now this is interesting. So it's a draft rig. Confusion user, great. Normal, not so good. So Confusion's only really used to beat the fighters. And if it doesn't beat the fighters because it's taking neutral damage, I guess, from fighting, and he's pretty weak, Giraffe Rig. I don't know. Some people seem to really like it. From what I've seen so far, I'm not planning on using it. So we'll jump out into some battles with JJJ Justin, another Arena Australis bloke. So we had a bit of lag, so I was like, oh, I was a bit of a jerk and hit a few too many times there. So we'll sort of let it balance itself out a bit, and I'll switch. And Empoleon cops a Bone Club. So it's good to see it takes about a third of his health on the Empoleon from those Bone Clubs. So, I mean, obviously for this matchup, it's not ideal. But still useful information, you know. Lock that one away. So I was expecting a Parrot Punch there, considering he hit it before the Pokemon came out. But it was Ice Punch, so we'll block the second one. I was thinking about going for the farm, but Hex really doesn't do a whole lot of damage with Drift Bloom. He's sort of there to charge up and get to those ominous wins nice and quick, which, as you can see, I don't have. So I think a few opponents were like, oh, he's going to be baiting. And, well, I can't bait. I just got the Shadow Ball, so I'll just throw it. So I'll let Drift Bloom go down. I hope Synchronize is enough to kill, but he's got 2 shields left. It's kind of pointless keeping on going on here. He's still got another Pokemon in the back. But, you know, whatever. We'll play it out. So if Shadow Ball will one-shot a full health Gardevoir. So that was never good. So this is interesting, seeing how Haunter goes against Lucario from the lead. We see Lucario, this is going to be a Parrot Punch. Nothing. So he gets out of there into his own Haunter. I've got energy, he doesn't, so he's going to waste the shield. But yeah, they just hit each other so hard. So his Haunter's almost dead. He's going to have Shadow Ball, I'm assuming here. No, only throws the Shadow Punch. So Steelix finishes him off. And so yeah, quite an interesting matchup. So he brings his Lucario back out. So obviously Medicham is going to win this matchup, no worries. Lucario does awful against the other fighters. Now he's got a Bronzong here. So this is where Confusion users aren't as useful, and this is where Medicham actually definitely shines in this meta. So if you're worried about Confusion users and you need a fighter for that, Medicham's your boy. Otherwise, yeah, he's not that amazing. Like I like Poliwrath better personally. So, but you can see there, you know, he destroyed that Bronzong and half health Lucario, so that was great. So this is our last battle against Justin. So we get Empoleon versus Claydol. So I was hoping to see how that played out, but he switched. So obviously you need to get Empoleon out of there with Medicham, and we're just going to rip into this Medicham. Now, it's probably going to be an Ice Punch here. It is, so that's a great shield. So we'll charge up a stack of energy. So we've almost got 2 Shadow Balls here on our Haunter. So whatever comes out is just going to cop it. Whether it needs to shield twice. So we're going to get to another one just. So that's where the Confusion users come in and your advantage against the Ghost types. Haunter's just so low there. So we'll pop Empoleon back out. We've got 1 shield. So this will almost KO us if it's a Bone Club. Shadow Ball would kill. So we'll shield up. And I was thinking about, again, farming him down. But I've got a full health Steelix in the back. And, oh, look, he just gave up. So, thanks to the games, Justin. Now, we move on to another fellow PvP YouTuber, PvP Steve from Australia down in Newcastle. So, really happy that Steve stayed in this matchup because I really wanted to see Empoleon versus Bronzong. So, no shield on the first heavy slam. If that was Bulldoze, it probably would have KO'd me. So, I went for the Flash Cannon. He shielded. So, I'm happy to shield up here and get to the switch advantage. Now, interesting, he's got Heavy Slam and Psyshock. No Bulldoze. So, you'd think I'd lock that away, but I don't think. I think I forgot. It was probably late at night when we were doing these battles. Actually, we can see the time. Yeah, 8:45. Well past my bedtime. Gosh, I'm an old man. Now, this is interesting. Steelix versus Bronzong. Steelix is supposed to win this. So I'm like, alright, sweet. We'll get up to the Earthquake. We'll throw the Crunch. You know, go for the Shield Bait. Don't get it. I'm like, oh, that's annoying. Alright, look. We'll stick at it. We'll get up to an Earthquake again and throw the Crunch. Once again, no shield. So I don't know if Steve's a wizard or not, but he picked those baits. If I had thrown one Earthquake, Bastiodon was dead. So, and now if this is an Ice Punch, I'm in trouble, but it's not. It's a Power Up Punch. So the option would have been to go for the farm instead of throwing Shadow Ball, but he lets it go down. He knows he's got Bastiodon left with one shield, so there's no point in throwing this Shadow Ball. But he doesn't shield. I think he was worried about whatever I had in the back, and was like, oh, I'll just let this match go. We'll get on to the next one. So thanks for that, Steve. Alright, so I correctly predict he was going to bring a tank out first. So he throws out his Gardevoir. Sorry, blank moment. So yeah, Empoleon, like, he's a generalist, and he doesn't destroy anything, but he just beats a lot of things. So I don't know. At the moment, I'm sure there's going to be other, as the meta evolves, there's going to be other things that come out, and like Empoleon just gets wrecked by stuff. But yeah, I'm really enjoying playing with him at the moment. So over a third of Bronzong's health's down. Now sure, it's got a bunch of energy, but I'm pretty happy with that so far. So hopefully Medicham can do enough, even though he's not super tanky. So I switched out to Haunter. That's right, I switched out because I knew he had Bastiodon, and I didn't want to leave my poor old Haunter to have to take care of a Bastiodon. So we bring Medicham back out. We're going to farm down, have to shield here, and then throw the Power Up Punch and hope it's enough to finish off Bronzong. Ooh, no, not enough, but the counters will, so. Whew. Yep, so again, Confusion user. Yeah, I would stick away from something that gets beaten by fighting. So Bronzong and Girafarig, maybe not. Claydol, it's got play. Yeah, it's one of those hard ones to go with. So, yeah, if you're thinking of running Confusion users, really make sure you practice and know the matchups they win and the matchups they lose. So it's interesting to see that Toxicroak actually does really well against Haunter. Like, sure, it still loses, but it's one of the fighters I think that gets the closest, just because of the flex it has with those other charge moves of Mud Bomb. Sludge Bomb's obviously going to be resisted, but you can throw out so many Mud Bombs so quick. So this last match, obviously, I have not got anything left to counter this Medicham. So he's just going to rip through Empoleon and Steelix. So we'll throw a counter. Crunch. Why not? That's going to get shielded, and then he's just going to finish us off. So, awesome. Thanks to the games. Alright, so that's it for those battles, guys. I think we're going to see this meta evolve a lot. It seems like there's not that many Pokemon. Go on a PvPoke and look at the top 30. They're all pretty viable, and they have matchups that win against other matchups. So as this meta evolves, I think we're really going to see some awesome changes. We're going to see some cool Pokemon. I did a few practice battles, and I threw out a Heracross and came up against an Alolan Raichu. So anything could come out. It's really interesting, really fun. Get into doing some practice, guys, and thanks for watching the video. See you in the next one.